I'm working on a 2009 Pontiac G5, which is the same platform as the Chevy Cobalt. And this is a car I previously rebuilt. And at the time I had a extra black Chevy Cobalt front bumper. So that's on there. The person that has the car now brought it by because it has a check engine light. And he wanted to replace the Serpentine belt. The current mileage is 174,823 miles. So what's going on with the car?
Check engine light.
Why don't we go ahead and start it up real quick and we'll do a quick code scan. Alright, we're using the OBD2 Torque. Alright, we're going to scan for codes. A P0128 powertrain coolant thermostat, coolant temperature below regulating temperature, which is really common for these engines. So unfortunately, he drove the car here, so the car's too warm to do the thermostat. We will change the Serpentine belt while it's here, and then I'll have him come back another day and we'll slap in the thermostat. So let's pull it up on the ramps and knock this out. Alright, you want to get a wheel chock? So anytime I'm working underneath the car on ramps, I always like to throw a jack stand underneath it and chock the tires. Alright, so one of the problems with Cobalts is if you use the standard, I'll open that up. If you use a standard Serpentine belt tool with a 3/8" drive, and the other part is a 1/2" drive, it is too long. When you put it in here, this would be hitting your radiator, and then if you go up to the next setting, it would be right where your engine mount is. And if you get it from below, you're going to hit your frame rail and then the ground because it's too long. So sadly, you can't use this one. And I had one like that I bent in a U shape in order to get up there and then around the control arm, and so it doesn't hit the ground. Use the Pittsburgh square socket drives, and you take the 3/8" one and a 14mm socket, and then you pound it in there, and then you can use it where you need it to get up there to correctly do that. It's right about there. So I'm going to get this on the ground and pound this in. There we go. I usually have one of these tools in the back of my car just in case the Serpentine belt breaks when I'm out and about. Alright, so now we can get in there with this from underneath the car and lift up on it. And Serpentine is the K050405. There's the size. So this would have a air conditioner pump right here, and it goes around the flywheel, the tensioner, alternator, and the air conditioner. So I'm going to get underneath the car, remove the piece of trim, and then knock this out. Alright, remove these two 7mm bolts. One right here, one right there. Alright, so here is a Serpentine belt. This is going to be really hard to record, but does look like there's some cracking there. It goes around the flywheel and then in between the tensioner over the alternator and then the AC pump. There is where the tool goes. There we go. Yeah, it looks like about right size. Oh, that is bad. Look at that. It's pretty bad. What does this weigh? It's like an aftermarket intake, but with a factory airbox.
It's a sealed cold air intake. The filter and everything's on the inside.
What's underneath here then?
I took the filter out of that so it wouldn't be like.
Well, I've actually never seen a setup like this. I'm not sure if I like it. All right, so now let me get right there. Try to get this new one on.
The good thing is I always hear it clicking in there, so and there's no smoke, so.
Well, I guess that is. I saved your life, Way.
Yes, you did.
You would have been trying to do this and at your job wondering how you're going to get home. Because unless you know, you don't know.
I didn't have the right tools, I can tell you that. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Never mind, I think I can do it. It's on the AC. That was easy. All right, so went around the alternator, the AC pump, the flywheel, and the tensioner. And I will show you guys on my backup engine in a minute. All right, you want to start the car real quick, Way? And we'll see. I know. All right, you can turn it off. Oh, I see the fan you're talking about. Is this how they said to put it in?
No, it goes in here.
Oh,
But I didn't want to shove it in there.
it goes in this part?
It goes in, yeah, right here.
I've never actually seen a cold air intake like that.
Yeah.
That's different. You know what you need? You need a ZZP coil plate, coil pack cover, like this over here, Way. And then you need a ZZP billet aluminum oil filler
I
cap.
want to get a cold air intake like this because that looks way better.
K&N is nice.
Yeah.
But you can have this factory subwoofer. I can't believe I didn't send it with the car.
Christmas.
I can't believe I didn't give you one with the car.
Yes, thank you. It's nice.
All right, so let me put the plastic trim back on, and then if you want to run and get some oil,
Okay.
we'll knock out a quick oil change too. You know what really sucks? You're doing it preventatively. But what really sucks is when you're freaking out in the middle of nowhere, you have to replace that.
Yeah.
And you're trying to do it with the standard AutoZone freaking thing. But what I like doing is I like taking the old belt with that wrench, throw it where your spare tire is.
Yeah.
If ever that breaks when you're on the road, you have everything you need to actually get this back on.
Okay.
All right, so how this goes is you're going to go in there with this tool. It's going to go right in there. Right, you're going to go around the alternator, in between the tensioner and the flywheel, and then this is where your AC pump would be. And then you pull up, and then the last part I like doing is this part right up here. to get over that last little lip, and that's how it goes. And like I said, this bent one 100% works, but you'd have to take off all that plastic trim wheel thing.
Gotcha, I see.
Because that kind of stops it from going up there.
Okay.
And it's so tight between the frame rail and this tensioner.
But that gives you the leverage that you need?
Oh, this gives you plenty of leverage because you can actually reach down there and just do it like that. Like on the Saturn Vue, 2007 Saturn Vue, because it's higher off the ground, it's easy to get in there with this tool. And this tool, of course, it is too.
So if I buy one of those, would you, customize it like that?
I would just keep this. You can actually get down there and just do it without even having extra leverage. But
it's not like I need to change the belt. You don't say that often.
Yeah. You'd be surprised when the alternator freezes up and then burns your belt or your AC pump. Freaking. And then on the Saturn Vue, the AC pump clutch went out, right?
Yeah.
So, or the bearing. So you can actually do a bypassing the AC unit with a shorter belt that goes bypasses the AC.
So you get the belt that doesn't have that's not required with the AC. There's two belts because they asked me if I had an AC or not.
Well, there you go. Yeah, get the non-AC one. So throw that in your trunk with your custom tool made by me. I need to grind that off and put 1020 auto rebuild on it. There you go. And then we're just going to slap on the plastic trim. There is the belt. I'm probably going to let you put the bolts back in. All right. Where's your little ratchet? Nice. I mean, where's my ratchet?
Does it look like there's any, like oil leaks or anything underneath there?
A little bit on the oil pan, but I don't think it's coming from your... No, it looks actually really dry.
Okay.
Remove the jack stand.
Thermostat.
When we do the thermostat, I'm going to show you why it's doing what it's doing. So you see in there that piece of rubber?
Yeah.
You can see it better from this side. This piece of rubber right here?
Yeah.
What happens is over time that'll get deteriorated and get loose. And then it'll actually block open this plate. So it constantly lets coolant through. Every single Cobalt that I've owned where I replaced the thermostat, that's happened. And
so
it's never
overheating. It's under it.
Yeah, it's never stuck shut. It's always stuck open. Okay. The only time I've had an overheating problem is when the water pump went out.
Got you. Okay.
But yeah, and it's crazy how hot these cars run naturally. Yeah, so
that's causing my the temperature gauge not to work properly.
No, it should work, but it should just never get up to temperature.
No, it has 3 lines on there. You can't. It doesn't.
The temperature or the outside temperature?
No, the temperature.
Your coolant temperature?
Yeah, coolant temperature. It doesn't read the coolant temperature.
Oh, so right over here, way is your coolant temperature sensor, and this probably went out too.
Okay.
So I'm surprised it doesn't show a code for that.
Yeah, no, it just shows 3 lines on there.
Yeah, so that's your coolant temperature sensor.
Okay. Gotcha.
And so you want to get one of those as well when we do the thermostat, and we'll knock both those out. Those are not critical problems, but you want to make sure your car doesn't overheat, and you still should get some sort of temperature. So we'll knock those out. This is a non-California emission car, so it should be relatively easy. Are you leaking? Why is there oil over there? Yeah.
Oh, I poured at the top
Poured
it off.
it in.
And yeah, I didn't have a filter.
And then if it was the outside temperature, the temperature sensors underneath this headlight housing. So you got to make sure you're looking at the coolant temperature and not the outside ambient temperature.
Okay.
So yeah. So all right, run to the parts store and get the oil. And let me look in here. See if I have. Oh, look at that way. So unless it comes on sale, like you buy oil and get the filter for free, don't order it because I have extra filters.
Sweet.
And it's S9018R. All right.
And the closest one is AutoZone, right?
AutoZone either over there or down the hill. Yeah, over there.
Okay. Yeah. Because I have to go all the way down the hill.
And that is replacing your Serpentine belt in a 2009 Pontiac G5. I keep wanting to call it a Chevy Cobalt. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Look like twins. It's nice. It's nice. All right, Way. We'll see you in a few minutes. We'll knock this out real quick.
I would have took this to a shop.
Are you comfortable with backing it off the ramps, or do I need to do that for you?
I know, I'd do it.
You sure?
You're not recording now.
I am recording. That's what I'm asking, if you're comfortable backing off the ramps.
Yeah, I can back off.
It's a nice car.